So are you seriously thinking about a Blues Junior or a Supro?
I want to go play that new Supro, the Montauk or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to play one. I don't think of Princeton. I think it's too close to my deluxe. But I think I need something, a small 112, that's something different flavored. That,
Smaller than that.
well, not necessarily smaller, but I like something to complement it.
Or an AC-10.
No, not an AC-10. No, every time I played one, they're kind of like flat.
I mean, that's the
AC-15.
new ones.
AC-15 I'd be closer to.
But then that's big and heavy.
Yeah, but I just want something to complement it.
Okay.
And that Supro's cool. It's got a master volume and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll talk more about it later. But
Okay.
let's get into this episode.
Hey guys, before we start this episode, we're starting off the new year right. We've got some merch. There's links down below. You guys can check it out. Or if you don't want to, don't check it out. Yeah, do whatever you want. All right, let's get back to that episode. See ya.
And we'll get started with the current topic.
Yeah.
You want to fire away?
Yeah, so we are going to start the year out with a banger. Are you ready?
Yep.
Rockett has released a new Phil X Overdrive boost.
Yep.
All in one for about $300.
Right.
You can put the boost pre or post the Overdrive. It's got a tilt EQ. I don't think it's really based on anything from what I gather. Like, it's just something where Phil X uses it when he has kind of a crappy backline. So he's just kind of trying to figure out an overdrive that can kind of do it all for him if he needs it to. But, of course, I watched Premier Guitar, right? John Bollinger's demo in it, and it sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, Phil X is like the original YouTuber.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, we got to support him.
Yeah, I'm sure it's great. I know that he was using a Bad Monkey for years and years.
Mm-hmm.
As like his main drive to kind of push him over the edge. So I wonder if it's kind of based in that realm of things. Bad Monkeys can do every pedal, right?
Is that new thing called sarcasm?
Yeah, maybe not.
And then, yeah, he's got the boost you can flip sides on, which I love the thought of that because there is times, depending on where the pedal sets, I want it in front or behind.
Right.
I think, man, it looks cool. It's got those like Neve style knobs.
Yeah, it is cool looking.
Yeah, I really like the looks of it. Rockett pedals, kills it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Phil X, I mean, like you said, he's, one of the original YouTubers that, I started following and watching a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And
dude's crazy.
yeah, he's wild, man. You know what? His guitar playing's just as crazy.
I know.
So
He's phenomenal, though.
I think that it's something.
Hey, did you see? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, it's okay. Just interrupt me. Middle of a statement, interrupt me.
But he's playing an SG with P90s now.
Yeah.
It's actually really cool. It's like a gold,
Yep.
entirely gold SG.
Yeah, I think it's a dog ear P90, right?
Yeah, it is. It's really cool.
Yeah, he had a bunch of those like 61 reissues. He was putting a P90 in the bridge.
Right.
And then he would just like leave the neck cavity open.
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking they're going to do like a Phil X signature. Maybe they're working their way there.
I mean, talking about a player and a guitar, that would be cool.
It's going to be killer.
Yeah.
He's so unique. He had that like LTD that was all stickered up that everybody
Had
wanted
the
for a long
Wolverine
time.
in there.
Oh, man, how cool.
It was really cool.
And then he tried doing a signature with, who was it? It was like a Canadian. It wasn't Schecter.
Oh, I don't know.
He tried doing a signature.
Was it
guitar with
ESP?
him. No, it wasn't ESP. I'll think of it here. Probably by the time we're done recording this video.
That sounds right, yeah.
I'll think of it. But yeah, all that kind of stuff kind of fell through on him. I hope he gets a cool signature guitar through Gibson.
Right.
I mean, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
His Friedman amp, you've played one of his amps.
Yeah.
It was killer, right?
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big Friedman guy.
Right. Yeah, Friedman's kind of hit or miss a little bit with us because, well, for lots of reasons.
Yeah. Usually too gainy for me.
Yeah, too gainy. It's really, it sounds like a Marshall after it's been mastered and mixed, which is awesome. But I kind of like that Marshall before it's mastered or mixed.
Yeah. But no, this Overdrive, to get back on topic, seems super user friendly. I think if you only had one Overdrive on your board, this is probably a good one to have. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on this and the hot wired from Wampler? Because from the sounds of it, it does kind of a similar thing where it's kind of a do-it-all. You plug it into an amp, you don't know what you're going to get, but you'll still make a good sound of it.
So hot wired from Wampler, that's like plexi drive and like a tube screamer like style circuit, right?
Boost, but you know how he's got a bunch of different controls on it. It's got the fatter, and fattest switch or something like that. The only thing with the hot wired, I don't think you can change the order. I could be wrong about that.
I think you're right. We've played one. Our dad actually has one.
Yeah, we bought it for him.
Man, such a cool pedal.
Phenomenal pedal.
Talk about a versatile pedal.
Yeah.
So I'm sure this one's going to be very similar. Like you said, it kind of does sound pretty similar to the hot wired.
Right.
Because if he's using it for like backline amps and just throws it on them to get like a decent sound, and then he's got a boost on top of that, it's basically what's going on with hot wire.
Right.
And if he likes a Bad Monkey, which started out as similar circuitry as Tube Screamer, I think, from the way I understood it.
Yeah.
Bass, everything changes with just a couple tweaks.
Right.
But that's pretty similar to what's going on here.
Yeah. It sounds like a similar pedal. I think the hot wired, it has more tonal, like the fat switch really makes it user-friendly amongst the gamut of pickups that you could have in the amps that you might get. But the fact that you can't change the pre and post like the Phil X almost makes that
and
is flexible in a different way.
It's going to be much different, I'm sure. And we've got, is it up here still?
I don't know.
Yeah, the Rockett Animal that's up here.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about a great bass. And
Yeah.
if that's kind of a similar bass to what they're working off of his one side, it's going to be killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So, I'm really interested in it. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get a hold of one before long.
That'd be awesome.
So, let me move on in to the main topic.
Okay.
So, this is the main topic. I don't know how much thought you've put into this. I put a little bit into it. We'll kind of talk through it and probably get us all the way there.
Okay.
So I want to talk about some of our goals for this year. It's 2024. Happy New Year, folks.
Yep.
Fuchs. I almost said Fuchs.
Better watch out.
Happy New Year, folks.
New year, new me.
That's right. So setting goals for the year, it's, you don't want to make resolutions, really. I'm not really a resolution maker myself.
No.
But I do kind of think like, it'd be cool by the end of the year if I could make this happen.
Right.
So do you have any goals in mind? I don't want to say resolutions, but is there any goals in mind for this year?
Are you talking about getting equipment or like what I would like to do this year with my band? Like, what are you thinking?
So this is a big gear channel, right? We focus a lot on gear. However, the ultimate goal is we're focusing on gear to get to the music.
Yeah.
Right? It's to be able to inspire you as a musician and be able to get across what you're looking to get across.
And let's preface, we are local musicians. We're not professionals, but we've played for a long time and we know what works for us.
Right. So I would like to hear maybe a little bit of both, or if maybe one leads to the other, however it falls.
Goals for this year. Man, I would say for my guitar playing, let's start there. Goals for my guitar playing. I really struggle with finger picking. And I think that is something that I have got to work on. I would say my first 3 fingers are really flexible and I can actually do what I need to with it. But my ring finger and pinky, like when I'm doing finger style, I just cannot get them to work with me. Like doing banjo roll type things. Learning how to play more with my fingers like Tommy Emmanuel style. Just having more of a handle on, the timing and my rhythm playing when I'm using my fingers. So that's something I want to work on personally, because I think it would benefit me a lot.
Yeah.
That's something I want to work on this year as far as guitar playing. I think one of the goals I have for playing just in general this year with my band is always going to be like working on dynamics. Like, I feel like that's what makes or breaks us with local shows and stuff like that. Like, that can really set you apart from the crowd if you can get your dynamics right. And a lot of it too, you just got to work on playing with somebody. I've only played with this band for, half a year at this point, but I really want to work on our band dynamics and me being better at hearing when I should be out front, when I should take a step back, try to make the most out of the song.
Listening, it sounds like.
Yeah, be a better listener.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you have any gear stuff?
Goals for the year. I've got to find me a more user-friendly guitar for the gig. I've got an SG and a Strat, or a Tele, depending on the show. And I think there's a PRS in my future. And I didn't think I would ever say that.
Okay.
But PRS has got some of the best Swiss Army knife guitars. Not that they do everything, but, they are more flexible or versatile than most guitar companies.
Yeah.
And I think it would fit really good with the band I'm in right now. Yeah. So I'm going to get some type of PRS. What that is, you'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
So what about you?
This is easy to say, but I want to be a better guitar player, right? So I actually think I'm going to pick up one of these True Fire courses or maybe one of the Brett Papa courses. I'm not for sure which route I'm going to go. Maybe you guys could let us know down below some of the favorite courses you've went through.
Yeah, that would help a lot.
And I think I want to pick out a course. I know Robin Ford's got a course out there that he goes through. There's a lot of people that's got them.
Yeah.
And I'd like to kind of work my way through them and try to pick up some of this, the nuanced stuff that some of these players I really admire have gotten.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to help me in live situations to pick up some of that stuff. I'm kind of in the same boat as you with the band stuff and playing live. I want to be better at being more dynamic and do all that type of stuff. I just want to find a way I want to do a better job this year, I think, of connecting with the music and not being so wrapped up in my sound and what's going on, which some of that comes down to having the right gear for the gig.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm finding kind of a sweet spot with that where hopefully that's better.
Yeah.
But I think those two things are probably musically the best things. And then also I would like to get around to, I kind of started it last year and then I fell off the wagon. I would like to get it picked back up where I'm listening to music, full albums of music.
Right.
And really listening to some of these players I truly love a little bit more. Rather than picking snippets of things or pulling up Spotify and listening to a song and going back. I want to get back into listening to full albums again.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do. Life's busy. I'm sure like you guys, we've got stuff going on in our lives between work and different things, families that take us away from that. And I think that's the core of guitar players where we fall.
Yeah.
So I want to be a better guitar player. I want to pick up and start going through a course. Make sure I'm connected to my music I'm playing, and then start listening to more music, which I think will help with the connection.
Yeah.
As in gear, if we're talking about gear, for this gig that I'm playing, I'm using my small board right now, and it's working out really well. My deluxe is working really well, which is what I'm taking for most of these gigs. There's been a couple times I've been a little unhappy with it, but overall I've been pretty happy with it. My goal, honestly, would be to try to get my big board. I have a couple boards I usually take for live playing, and I'd like to get my big board more situated where I can take it out and have it set up for this gig.
Mm-hmm.
I've got enough pedals to do it for the most part, but there's some pedals that would lend itself more to it.
Okay.
I'd kind of like to get that set up a little bit more, along with my guitars. I'm pretty content with it this time. I would like to find some type of P90 guitar.
Okay. So big board and P90s.
Yeah, that's the big thing. I've been kind of on a P90 hunt for 2 years now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
P90s are kind of a hard road to go down because it's hard to find something that you really like.
I mean, also there's not a lot in the store.
No,
you know what I mean?
There's not. There's been one P90 guitar that absolutely blew me away, but the price was not there for me.
Right.
Holy smokes, who would have known about that? But accidentally picking up a guitar that's worth more than some people's vehicles and starting to play it, man, this guitar's great. What is this? How much is it? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
No wonder it's a great guitar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think all that stuff will come together. So the gear thing for me is much lower on the list this year than what it has been in the past. It's definitely
you got some things in place that you haven't had before.
Yeah.
So I think now you can focus on that music.
Yeah.
So.
Let's go ahead and move to your gas or pass.
All right. So speaking of things that you're looking for this year, you want a P90 guitar, right?
Yep.
What about this new standard line from Gibson, the Double Cut Junior?
I saw this the other day.
It's like $1,700. I don't even know. They didn't even announce when it like got on their standard line, right?
No, I saw an email roll through my emails here a while back.
So, anyways, it's a double cut junior. I mean, it's got a wraparound bridge. They've got a red, a yellow, a TV yellow, one pickup, double cutaway, slim taper neck.
That's all you need.
Slim taper's not really your bag.
Yeah, not generally, but
I mean, it's a junior.
that's okay.
You're going to throw it around anyways.
Yeah.
What do you think? You want this thing?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say that. I've played some juniors, like production line juniors, that were not great folks. And it's no surprise.
It's very hit or miss.
So different people have different views on guitars, obviously. But we've very much got the view of every guitar is its own system, and it's very different from the next one that might be the exact same guitar, but it's a different piece of wood. It's a different pickup technically. And some of these juniors we've played have been awful, and some of these juniors we've played have been amazing.
Yep. Some are dogs, some are unicorns.
Right. So I want to go play one in person. There's some guitars I will order, not on site without playing them, but it's pretty rare.
Right.
And for this guitar, since I've seen such a big variance in the guitars, I definitely want to play it in person.
Right.
But it's a hard gas for me.
Mm-hmm.
My only issue is that one guitar that I found with P90s I loved was an SG Special. And now I'm like, well, maybe the 2 P90 thing is the way to go. So it's hard to say until I get a hold of this one.
You could also go the other route with SG Junior.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about this double cut junior.
So for me, this double cut junior is a gas.
Do you think you would hold the SG Special above it right now? Or the SG Junior, like if you had the double cut, the SG Special, or the SG Junior, where do all three of those lie? Like as far as interest level goes.
SG Junior's at the bottom of that list.
Okay.
Ooh. I think it's probably
just neck and neck, or what?
It's pretty neck and neck, but double cut junior's probably top, barely.
Okay.
And then SG Special's probably second. It almost feels like we need a rating system for gas or pass.
Yeah.
Like, how much are we gassing for it?
Yeah.
Do we need that?
How about you guys let us know? Like, do we really need, is this a 1 through 5 or a 1 through 10 rating scale, or do you just like if we want to buy it or not?
Yeah, because gas or pass works, but there's levels to everything, and there's definitely levels to my gas or passing of these items.
Yeah.
So maybe we should.
There's definitely levels to his gas, let me tell you.
That's right. So if you guys want us to add some type of meter for that,
yeah,
let us know and kind of give us an idea of what you want us to use. I'm not for sure what we would even use.
Yeah.
Like a star rating or...
Yeah.
That doesn't feel good.
Yeah. We'll worry about that another time. Just let us know your thoughts.
It's a gas for me. What about you?
It's a pass for me. Because I'm looking at a gold top.
Loser.
I'm looking at a gold top Les Paul. So
okay,
P90s.
fair enough. Let's go into my gas.
All right, what's yours?
So this is one that's really popular out there, but I'm not. I'm gonna go ahead and let it up. I'm not so sure about this thing.
Okay.
It's a GigRig Atom.
GigRig Atom.
So it's like the G3, but it's the smaller version.
Okay.
So it's got like 99 presets you can do via MIDI and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's got 6 loops in it, 6 pedal loops. It does have a tuner built in it, so you don't have to worry about a tuner anymore.
Okay.
But it's $1,200.
Okay. So this is like...
It's like the GigRig G3, only it's a smaller, shrunk down version.
And 6 pedals.
With only 6 loops.
And... Man, you know what this reminds me of?
No.
No. I think of... What was that Boss multi-effects switcher?
Yeah,
It's like the... I keep wanting to say like M8 or M5, but now that's line 6 or something.
Definitely not it.
But they have a multi-effects switcher. It's got effects in it, like modulation and stuff.
Yeah.
But it also can be a switcher.
This is just a switcher.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
Which is why I would just want to go the Boss route.
Yeah, I
or Roland or whatever it is.
Right. It's really confusing to me that it's $1,200.
That's pricey for a switcher. For 6 pedals?
I know.
Maybe I just don't understand, like, is it truly like plugging straight into your amp? Maybe it is.
Well, okay. I don't know, man.
$1,200.
I like that pedal show's great. I've
Oh,
got
we love
a
him.
lot of information out of it. I really like Dan. He's a very intelligent guy.
Mick's awesome.
Mick too. I think the GigRig stuff's great.
Yeah.
From what I understand. I've never had my hands on any of it. The Quartermaster stuff is awesome looking. It's a little pricey, but not horrible.
Right.
But whenever you get into the Atom, I mean, the G3, you got a lot more loops and a lot more availability to change things. It's a little more expensive, but boy, the Atom seems like it's really pricey to me.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I don't want this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, with all due respect,
Right.
no thanks.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I get that. We talked about, like, we need to, like, shake out some of these Klon pedals we've got, and we're going to shoot some of them out.
Yeah.
And like do a little bit of a comparison to see what we think of them, just for personal interest. And we'll throw it on a video or do whatever. But just out of our personal interest, we want to do it. And I'm like, man, this would be perfect to have for that because you can switch through them and they're all at a signal path. And I'm like, $1,200. Like,
yeah.
People like Voodoo Labs makes a version of it that I'm sure is not as good technically and all that stuff. But am I going to notice that much of a difference? I mean, I don't know.
To me, it's hard to swallow that pill. $1,200.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
No thanks. I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, I love the GigRig guys and that whole thing. But
I'm sure it's fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but to me, it's still not worth it.
Yeah, I would just rather put that. I mean, that's a Princeton. That's a, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things you could pick up for $1,200. Not to say that you need to undervalue. It's like people that undervalue power supplies. Don't undervalue your power supply. Nobody wants to buy it, but you have to. But how much, unless you've got some vintage effects that have horrible buffers in them, how much is 6 pedals really messing your signal up?
I don't know.
That's another thing I'd love to test one day too, is like, what's the number of pedals where it truly starts affecting it? Because every pedal's different.
Well, and you got a buffer, you got true bypass, you know.
But where's that kind of number of pedals that it really is starting to affect it quite a bit versus just, you know, a long cable?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either, but this thing here is definitely a pass for me.
It's a pass for me.
Okay, so we're not totally off the rails there.
No.
Okay, you want to go ahead and move into your main topic?
Yep. All right. Here's the deal. Main topic number 2 is pretty simple. All right, here are the rules.
Oh, man, we got rules again.
Here are the rules. We got 5 years to get whatever gear we want.
Awesome. No money?
Well, I don't have any money. I don't know about
okay.
you. Let's pretend we got money.
Okay.
What are the things that you are going to buy within this 5 years?
Okay. So this is real life. This isn't like a fun
just
game.
kidding. It's kind of sad, actually.
Dang it.
Now that I think about it.
I'm going to buy 2 packs of strings.
So think about all the things that you would like to buy within the 5 year. Let's say it's your 5-year plan.
Okay.
And the 5-year, kind of like an interview. What's your 5-year plan? What's your 5-year guitar plan? Or gear plan for playing guitar?
I like this.
Yeah.
5 years. Okay. Boy, that's tough, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So you almost got to break it down by year. So year 1.
Yeah, so this year...
You kind of already talked about it.
I kind of talked about it. I kind of want to get my pedal board straightened out, so I might have a couple pedals there to finish up that for my live playing that I want to do. My biggest issue right now is I need another delay pedal that I really love that's kind of got some presets in it or something along those lines, or maybe another one to add to some pedals, and kind of go from there. So I need to get pedal board straightened out, and I guess P90 guitar would be the other thing I'd be looking at for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 things would be pretty big. I think probably whenever we start looking at the next 4 years on top of that, honestly, it sounds wild, and you never would have thought I would say it, but I'm really gassing hard for some 2-rock stuff.
Oh, more than a Z-Rec?
It and the Z-Rec is running neck and neck right now. And I think right now my gas level for the 2-rock is really high.
I can't believe that.
I know. There's something wrong with
Who
me.
thought you'd be a John Mayer wannabe?
I don't want to be John Mayer. I don't want to be John Mayer. I love. Don't beat me up, folks. I know everyone loves John Mayer, and I like him too, but I don't want to sound like John Mayer, and I'm never going to. Just because you have a two, you can have his exact rig.
You can do anything, just don't sing like him. Because
No.
his face. Have you seen him sing?
I like it. I like it. That's something I like about him.
Like his guitar face is one thing, but his singing face.
Yeah, it's good.
That's hard to watch.
It's good.
Love the guy.
Say what you got to say.
Love the guy.
Say what you need to say.
Okay,
Say
I
what you're
did.
gonna say.
I just did.
Say what you're gonna say.
Stay away from John Mayer.
You know, it's driving me crazy right now, the Two Rock stuff.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with that one Two Rock I played in Nashville, and I probably should have just bought it right that second. But yeah, I need to go play some more of them. The studio signature's kind of calling my name right now. This one channel's probably all I need.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can't ever go wrong with their classic reverb. So I would like to make one of those happen in the next 5 years, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I don't know where that falls.
Okay.
And then yeah, the Z-Rec's a whole nother thing too, because that Z-Rec Junior's been calling me.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess realistically, this year it would be cool to finish up that pedal board, maybe find a P90 guitar, something like that. And then I would be either in Z-Rec Junior camp or Two Rock camp, because let's be honest, they're not a million miles apart in prices.
Oh, prices. Yeah, I was about to say, no, they are very different.
Yeah, I think a Z-Rec Junior head somewhere in the ballpark of $2,000. I think the Two Rock head is somewhere in the ballpark, the studio signature of like $3,000 or $34,000. Right. So it is more expensive, but not crazy more.
Yeah.
And then honestly, I think the other thing in the next 5 years that I would be kind of looking at, obviously there's other pedals and different things like that involved, but I've played a couple of those D28s that have just been calling my name.
Okay. Yeah.
That's probably the things that, who knows what guitars and amps I run into in between now and then,
Mm-hmm.
but that's like, as in, if we're talking big purchases in the next 5 years, that's probably the three things that are probably hitting me the hardest right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of other things. We talked about pairing a little amp with my deluxe or something like that. I mean, I could really go through a laundry list of things.
Mm-hmm.
However, if we're talking big items in the next 5 years, it's probably what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's some expensive stuff that
A lot of stuff to buy in 5 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
But 5 years ago, I would have been saying the same thing about what I've picked up. So
I know.
what about you? Where's your 5 years? Maybe after you talk a little bit more, I'll be able to come back to some points on mine.
Yeah, because I have really good ideas that you steal. You're right. So anyway, year one, I already talked about I want to get a PRS somehow.
Yep.
I think just because I don't have a modern style guitar, I'm limited with what I can do with my guitars.
You need a modern style guitar that you're not afraid to fall out of a guitar stand.
Right.
Honestly, I'm not like, but you've got a few gigs where you're playing and taking it out and dragging it all over the place, and the environment, as in like even the weather and stuff, is not great for it.
Right.
You need something that's rock solid.
Yeah, I do. So I need a PRS, just to help me get through my gigs. I don't know if so newsflash, if you didn't know it, I'm having a kid this year.
Yep.
So funds are a little tight.
Makes it.
So I don't know if I'll be able to swing another purchase this year.
Right.
But I really could use a Princeton reverb. Like a real one, not a Tone Master. I've already decided. I've looked at the Tone Master till I'm blue in the face. But I'm just gonna be thinking about it if I don't buy the tube version.
Yep.
And I'm gonna have to mic it anyway, so the direct option, it really won't change much for me. So I think I'm just gonna go the regular Princeton route. And I want the 10-inch speaker.
Yeah, because you would leave the speaker on, even if you were
Regardless,
direct out,
yeah.
no matter what. So yeah.
Yeah, I think. Well, not I think. I know I want the 10-inch speaker. There's a magic to that 10-inch that the 12-inch does give you more space, but it kind of puts it more in that deluxe territory.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of the 10-inch speaker. So I would keep it the way it is, stock, and just run it. And I might even pair it with my Tweed amp, my deluxe. So anyways, Princeton is going to be next up on the list, but whether it's next year probably won't happen. So I'm thinking that's year 2. Princeton's year 2. Year 3, Man, it really depends on what happens. But I would love a P90 Gold Top Les Paul.
Yeah.
Man, would I love one. I'm looking at 54 reissues. I think that's what I'd prefer to have, but if I don't get that, I might go with just a 50s P90 and put a Bigsby on it, because that is also beautiful too.
Yeah.
So those are some things I got to iron out, but I'm pretty sure I want a Gold Top Les Paul with P90s. There's just something to that sound. I mean, I think of John Fogerty and Mike Campbell, and they've made a career out of those guitars.
Yeah.
There's something to the sound. Just, it's in my head. After that, I think it's like you had mentioned, I want to tighten up my big board. There's a couple delays I want, and I'm probably going to want a Sun Lion.
Yeah.
Just to have the Beano Boost and an awesome fuzz in one box. But really, other than that, I've got a lot of my big pieces. There's probably the 5-year is going to be my acoustic.
Yeah.
Because right now I've got a working man's acoustic, like the GS Mini Koa.
Yeah.
That's a great singer-songwriter. I've got a resonator. I've got a D15 Martin that I put a pickup in the sound hole, but I need a really nice acoustic.
You want a D18. That's what you want.
I want a D18. And I want it bare bones stock.
Yeah.
I want just a working man's D18.
Yeah.
So that's ideally in 5 years. Now
that's some great calls. And we're not a million miles from each other, really.
No, we both want P90s. We both want a nice acoustic, finish up boards.
And both want a nice amp.
I mean, isn't that the dream? That's the dream.
It is, but it's also kind of funny, like where we fall in like the grand scheme of things, because we're both out gigging, doing things. We've been playing guitar for years and years, and whenever you turn around, here we are, years later, and we're like, well, in the next 5 years, what are you looking for? Well, we're both looking for a real nice acoustic. We're both looking for an amp that we can go and gig all the time.
Yeah,
and we're both looking to kind of tighten up our board, and it's some P90s.
And I think something to just point out, we've got a humbucker guitar we love.
Yeah.
I've got an SG, you got a Les Paul. We both have a single coil guitar we love. I've got a Tele and a Strat. You've got a Tele that really works for you.
Yeah.
I'm
a little bit fortunate because I've got a Duesenberg that kind of works. As of now, knock on wood, it kind of works for me for a do-it-all guitar for the stuff I'm playing. And that's kind of where you're missing.
Right. So, I mean, 5 years, that's probably a little tight. It probably will end up being 6 or 7 years, all this spanned out. But that would be my dream scenario, 5 years. And really, I want to get it while I can enjoy it. Like, we've talked about this before. I don't want to get things when I'm 60 because I've retired and I've earned it and have 15 good years of playing.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating. I imagine. I mean, I don't know. I haven't done it. But I imagine it's a little frustrating to work your entire life, retire, get a retirement guitar, and all of a sudden, you've got 15 years of good playing and going out and gigging with it before you're like...
Before arthritis sets in.
Yeah, or it's just like sitting at home and you're just playing at home mostly because you're not gigging as much.
Right.
Whenever I retire, I want my guitars to look like they've had some wear and they've been played for a long time.
And I really want to get to know my equipment. I want to put some miles on it so I know what each one does and why I go to each one.
And we're putting miles on our gear right now.
We are.
We are definitely using our gear a lot. And, that's when you want to use the gear that you love the most. So, I mean, you don't want to go in debt and go in the hole to be buying gear. But at the same time, you want to do as much as you can now so you can truly enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm selling gear to afford this gear I'm talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
And that makes sense. I think a lot of guitar players are in that same boat.
Right.
I think, I'm talking about a 2-Rock or a Z-Rec, and you're talking about, a 54 reissue. Those are not cheap products.
No.
They're expensive products. Even if Joe Bonamassa thinks $19,000 is within reason.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm still hung up.
I know.
But I think it's normal for guitar players to work a couple of years to try to afford that, to play a bunch of gigs, and maybe just from gig money, they've got half of that or all that money saved up for that anyway.
Right.
So I think it's pretty reasonable to have like 2 to 3 big purchases in a 5-year span.
I would think so, but
For the average guy, I'm talking, that's who we're talking to and why
Right.
we've made this.
and maybe you're not like us and thinking, wow, a Princeton 1 year and a 54 reissue. The next, like, I'm not saying that. Maybe your big purchase is like a Boss Katana, and then the next one is maybe a Fender Deluxe.
And the other side of it is maybe you're buying a 54 reissue this month, and the next month you're buying a D28 Modern Deluxe. Like,
Right.
and that's cool too. That's no big deal. But it's just
We're just saying, give us some of that money. That's all.
that's right. But in that whole span of things too, you're also leaving yourself a little bit of leeway for, I find a pedal I like. I run into a guitar accidentally that I really love.
That's it.
You're leaving yourself a little bit of grace to know
I need
that
to buy more cables.
I'm accidentally going to fall in love with the guitar and probably buy it in there too. This is just the stuff that like I probably should be looking that way towards, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I think that 5-year plan works pretty well, really.
It does for me.
For where you're setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I take an assessment of that, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think you're missing anything. So maybe, no, probably not.
A Klon Centaur.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just kidding.
No, don't buy a Klon.
And you need a Double.
No, I don't need a Double, and I don't need a Klon, and neither do you guys. No one
But
needs
if you
that.
want to loan one to us,
Maybe we're wrong. Send one to us. You know what? You're right. Send one to us. We'll check it out.
we don't do demos, but we'll do one if you send it to us.
That's right. Yeah, if you send me a Klon or a Dumble, I will definitely do a demo. We don't do any demos, but I do think this is a New Year episode.
Yeah.
And I would like to do a few things where we're comparing and contrasting a few things. I do think that demos are completely useless. And we both believe that.
I mean, I don't know. I think we've changed our status on that, right? Because,
No, demos suck.
oh wait, yeah, we forgot that.
Demos suck. But I do think that comparison can be good.
I think it can help.
Yeah. I can help you differentiate which road you need to go down.
Look at you. Differentiate.
Watch out, big words. So this year, maybe a good New Year's resolution we didn't talk about is we get in here and we compare and contrast.
It is
some
not a
things.
demo. It's a comparison.
I will not demo anything. I don't think.
Maybe.
Maybe under
To
the
be
right,
continued.
maybe under the right circumstances. Pretty unlikely though.
Comparison videos, yes.
Yeah, comparison. And also just like a little bit of intrigue. So I've got a few things on the books that I want to try and kind of compare. And honestly, some of it, selfishly, I want to record because it takes a while to change it out. And my ears aren't going to catch it or I'm not going to remember it.
That's true.
And I'd love to record it just for the sake of being able to listen to them back to back.
Yeah.
So for that, I would love to do some of this stuff. And I think this year we do some more of that.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot.
Because we've not done any of that because we've held the stance of demos suck.
Which they do.
And they do. But comparison videos don't suck.
And not that we're comparing one is better than the other. It's just what do they do differently?
The use case. What's the use case for this thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, we kind of got down another rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Like all episodes. So Happy New Year's. Hope your 2024 is great. 2025.
Dude, you got problems, man.
I got problems.
You're going to mess us all up.
I'm going to mess this all up. So it's 2025. We got to get used to writing that, right?
Yeah, we got to get used to
All
it.
right. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.